FinTech is all about innovation. And so as an innovator and an entrepreneur, you want to be able to bring your innovation as far as possible. And that means that your business can also grow geographically, and it makes your ambitions as big as possible as well. So the problem is that as you start shrinking that market, in many ways, what that means is that as an entrepreneur, your vision of what you can be doing with your company gets very restricted.
Well, if I go back to basics, and I think what drives the success of FinTech in the UK, it's two things. One is access to talent and individuals that are knowledgeable and that have backgrounds that are varied, that can create propositions that are innovative and interesting and useful. And the other side is access to a variety of markets from one location, because economies of scale are a big driver for FinTech. If Europe suddenly became anti-globalization and therefore started raising barriers for people to move or for business to be able to passport their activities internationally, the impact would be incredibly negative. If the EU goes the opposite route of what America is doing and some of the other countries are doing, and becomes a hub where openness and globalization becomes a virtue, then they could become a hub where the talent that is possibly not going to the US because of all the situation in the US will be coming to Europe, and Europe will start having an impact that is commensurate to the size of the economy that it actually generates. Because if you look at the EU economy compared to the US, it's actually bigger than the US economy. If they were able to coordinate more effectively, they would have an opportunity to actually do a lot better.
I think that it's going to force European FinTechs to adapt more to their local markets, and I think that good technology companies are able to do that, but it will require an investment to do that. I think that the European FinTech market will be resilient, however it will require global investment to help do that, and so that we can adapt and keep attracting talent to FinTech companies based either in London, Berlin, Frankfurt, Luxembourg, Paris, so that we stay strong as a market.
So in my mind, the question of whether or not globalization or the trend away from globalization is going to hurt FinTech is actually an irrelevant question. It's based on a false assumption that globalization is retracting. It's merely a blip in the system in terms of cultural isolationism, not in terms of actual markets and tech globalization. So in my mind, it's kind of, the question's moot.